So today's gonna be. So I just warmed up my back with inverted rows. I always like to warm up my back before I do bench because that's what you're gonna be using the most. Back. That's your foundation on bench. I just did the rows 3x10. I like to warm up. It's gonna be bench block Sunday today. I like to warm up with like no bench block. I can't find my actual bench blocks, and that's getting me mad. Somewhere in the garage, I don't know where. So I have a 4x4. I'm perfect. Like, it's perfect that I'm on that setting right now. On the big bench block, I'm on the lowest setting. So that's pretty much a 4x4. When gyms were locked down from March 17th to June 1st for me, I was working out at home and I had the bench block. That's how I know it's somewhere in the garage, because I never took it out of the house, like to the gym. So I measured it with the 4x4, and the 4x4 is a tad bit bigger. Like, honestly, it's barely anything. It's like not even a quarter of an inch. So 4x4 is pretty much the setting I'm on. I'm gonna use that once I get to like 245 probably. So 245. I'm gonna be doing 270 though. Today's gonna be 3x2. I kind of wanted 2x3, but that's gonna be done so fast. Just 2 sets. So 3x2. I was thinking of doing singles, but that'll be the next week. I will have to go to FU for that one. I'll take my bar because the owner has the smaller bench block. That one I actually don't have. It's the smaller one. I'm going to do it on the higher setting on the small bench block. I don't do it on the last setting because that's just too high, too low. Like, might as well actually do it. So 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be doing 270 with no block at all. So today will be 3x2 with 270. I'm going to warm up without it. And then it's going to be those working sets, and I'm going to go to FU right after. So I have my black 44s. These are the complete size 44s, the bigger ones, because I have some smaller 44s. I put these on first instead of the standard 45s, because if you saw my last video where I weighed in the plates, those are 53 pounds. So I want this block bench to be as accurate as possible. So I don't want it 16 pounds heavier. Total 8. 53 is 8 more pounds than 45. So these are actually like 46 I weighed them. So I prefer that than the 53 pound plates. I'm gonna use the 100 pound plates though. When I get to 245, that will be the 100 pound plate. So yeah, it's gonna be a tiny workout, but that's what we lift weights for. That's what we're power lifters for. So this will be 180. Technically it's 187 because 46 pounds, but on like technically reading it by the plate, it's 183. $230 is going to be my last warm-up, and then I'll go 245, the 100 pound plates with the block, and then I may go one more, like 260, yeah, 260, and then we'll do working sets at 270. So it's kind of like an unplanned top single, my warm-ups, because I'm so weak. 230 is actually kind of heavy for me. So, I mean, it's not like it's heavy, because I did 259 last week, but it is heavy. So this is my last warm up without the block. I always wanted to use a 100 pound plate with everything, so I did it with deadlifts. 245 deadlift was hard. I did 245 bench. Obviously, it was a 4x4, so I didn't truly do it, but I lifted it without any lift off. So just with that, like, I could feel it not wiggling as much compared to 2 plates and a 5 and a 2.5, or comp plates, which would be, there is no 245, there's 243, 242.5, whatever, 243. That's a plate and a blue with no collar, or a plate and a yellow and a collar. What is it? Plate, yellow. I know for a fact, a red and a blue, I know that's 243. But a red and a yellow is 221. Plus the collar, 232. Plus 11. Yeah, so it'd be the collar and a 2.5. What I'm saying is, This is pretty damn close to the bar because it's a 100-pound plate. The second I lifted it up, it was actually really easy. So I see the difference now. This 270 should be really easy for 3x2. That was still heavy though, but I see that it is easier. It's different than comp plates. It's different than 45-pound plates spread out apart. Kind of like it. Can't wait to actually do a single with the 100-pound plates, not just with the 4x4. But I rested enough. I'm about to do 260. I already have it loaded, and then I'm gonna do the actual working sets. Alright, so I didn't say anything, but the 260 warm-up, which was the warm-up before the working set, that was super heavy. So I did not have the confidence at all. I had like zero confidence to do this 270 3x2. That was the first set, and it was easy, but I didn't have the confidence. I was like literally thinking for like the whole time I was resting, like 6 minutes, I don't know. Even before the 6 minutes, even before the 260, like how am I gonna, like how's my dad gonna help me if I fail? Like it's gonna be really hard. Because I have a 2-piece squat rack. I mean, I have the spotter arms, but they're not that big. They don't go out far. And I do have plates holding it so it won't tip over. But I do like pin presses, so I know it'll be fine. But I was just thinking how there's refrigerators here. He's going to get pissed if it hits. Not this side, but that side for sure. And I thought, like, I can't just sit up with it because there's a 4x4 on me. What if, like, I can't do that? And then he has to take the 4x4 off me and then it'll land on me. But it was actually really easy. So, technically, like, the 270 still feels heavy. With the 100-pound plates, but technically it's a little easier than the block one because, like I said, this 4x4 is a little bit higher than the bench block. The smallest setting on the bigger bench block, the 2, 3, 4, 5 board, whatever, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5 board. But it's no big deal. Hopefully it doesn't throw me off too much next week when I go real low. Worst case, I could just get a 2x4, worst case. But on a side note, to all those people that always told me, I mean, it doesn't matter now because I can't find my bench block, but all those people always told me, why do you have a bench block? It's so much money. I mean, it was $60 at the time. Now you can find some for cheap. You can find some off-brand ones for like $30 on eBay. I actually saw. They don't have a name. It's the same dimensions. They have the big one and the small block. But when I bought it, I was like, why do you buy that? You could just use a board. You could use a 4x4, 2x4, whatever. Well, that's exactly why. Because it lets you have a spotter and you don't need 2 people. And I was scared because I didn't have a spotter in this one. But I mean, good thing I got it. I mean, I did it. I've been doing it, so it should have been easy. But last week felt heavy, like unracking it, and then this week felt heavy actually doing it. So I just looked at the second set, and it looked like they honestly look easy. To me they do, and I'm sure they do from the outside, like from another viewer. But that second set was crazy because I unracked it and it was super heavy and I was shaking, and the first rep wasn't hard, but it wasn't easy. It was like an 8 point, it was like a 9. But it's just kind of like sometimes that misgroove. It was like that first rep misgroove because you unracked it and it was heavy. The second one was super easy. So I have one more set. Oh man, this is crazy. Feels real. It is like very different, you know, with the bench block and the 100-pound plates, but, you know, getting it done. Before I started, I have one excuse today. Not a lot, just one. I did weighted dips yesterday. I actually didn't record it. I was going to record. I took my camera, I took my tripod. I just didn't feel like it. And, like, it was just accessories. And I did 35 pounds, 25 and a 10. And I did 4x7. Last week I had done that 3x8. So I did 4 more reps. But my shoulders were hurting because I hadn't done dips. I don't know what it was, but it felt good doing dips because I had done back first and then chest. It's like works wonders to do back before you do chest because you feel nice and warm, nice and tight your back. So my shoulders are hurting a little before because of that, but everything felt smooth before the bench block, like all the warm ups with the actual like actual benching, no bench block. And then once the bench block came, I don't know, for some reason it actually hurt my shoulders more, and that doesn't make sense. I know it should hurt less, but I just think my shoulder's a little fried from the dips yesterday. But I'm gonna go to FU right now after this last set. I'll do some pause bench, and after this pause bench, I'm gonna go do rear lateral flies, some rear delts, rear lateral flies, whatever you want to call them, rear delts, you know, side delts. and then just some back. That's it. I just want to do it, like, I want to do as much back as possible. I do it 5 days a week. I said I was doing it 6 to 7 last video, but it's 5 because Mondays I deadlift. I don't do actual back, but it's kind of, I do posterior chain, but not like back pulling movements. So pulling movements for like bench to complement bench. I do Tuesday. I do not. I do a little bit Tuesday because I bench and squat because I warm up with inverted rows. So I guess you could count that, but I'm gonna count Wednesday because that's my accessory day for Tuesday because I can't be in the gym too long because of the 2-hour time limit. And then Thursday, yeah. So I do it 5 days a week back, and I think that's perfect. You know, Julius Maddox does 7 days a week. Yeah, it's a little different. He focuses more on bench, and I'm focusing on bench so much right now too because I'm so weak. But you know, 5 days is good enough compared to 7. You know, it's almost the same day. And you know, I try to keep it not too many back things every single day. Just spread them out, like different exercises, different day. Like seated cable rolls and lat pull downs, I won't do those the same day. Even though this week I did single lat pull down, single arm with seated cable rolls. You know, seated cable rolls, separate that from lat pull down, so it'll be like seated cable rolls, dumbbell pull over, and then incline dumbbell rolls. And the next day lat pull downs, pull ups, and inverted rows, and just some variation like croc rolls, something I didn't do the other day. And I just always do some variations, but I always do pull ups and inverted rows because you know those are pretty easy. You know, I'm gonna start doing weighted pull ups though. So that was the second set of 220 for 4x3, and man, transitioning from the bench block 270, so damn heavy, doing a 3x2, 2 reps, and 50 more pounds. It makes this 220 feel super easy, and I love that. But what I'm really focusing on, with the bench block, I was doing well with the board, whatever. With the board and these sets that I'm really focusing on the pause, I'm really focusing on squeezing my back. I'm focusing on it so much that it's like it burns my back. I feel it as if I'm doing a back exercise, and I've never really felt it like that before because I was always scared I'd go too slow and then it'd be too heavy and then I have to try too hard and waste that energy. But these first 2 sets are really easy, and I have one excuse for the first rep of this set. Like, honestly, this is a valid excuse in my opinion. Like, when you touch on your chest, there's the fear of touching too high, but like I always have the fear of touching too low. So there's the nipple line, and then there's like the sternum. Sometimes I go down to my sternum, kind of like by the ribs, like sternum, lower ribs, and that's too low. Then I have to go all the way back, like up and back like a C, like that's too far. Kind of like a deadlift. When you're out in front, you're doing a rep like this. So my first rep was too low, like too far on my sternum, like my solar plexus, so I had to go way up and back. So it just kind of hurt. It wasn't hard, it just hurt my shoulders. Then I found like that middle ground. Like, I think I'm actually good touching a little high because I've noticed when I touch higher, it's actually easier. Like more like on top of my nipple line, like, because like it sounds weird saying that, but like people like to refer to the nipples. I always used to do my sternum, you know, solar plexus, but when I do like nipple line a little bit higher, like it's actually easier. So I did that the next two sets, and I noticed like my excuse was it was easy because I was using my back. So I have excuses that I was using my back and that made it easier. So if I don't do back before, my excuse will be I didn't do back before bench and it'll be hard. But I'll still get the numbers even with the excuses. Damn, that set was really easy, but I'm not content with the pauses at all. Some people, their pauses are like 1, 2, then they go. Some people are like, I don't know what some people think, but I do know some people do 1, 2. Those were like, to me, those were the worst pauses I've ever seen in my entire life. Looked like touch and go. So since it was so easy, I know I can pause longer. it seems so much longer when you're down there, so it's hard. Like, that's why it's kind of good to have someone counting for you. Like, I didn't agree with that at first. I always thought you could count in your head, but a lot of times in your head you count like 1, 2. It feels like in your head you're like 1, 2, but it's really like 1, 2. Then you go up, because it feels so heavy. It feels like forever when there's weight on your chest. So I'm probably counting out loud, or counting. I don't like to be loud. Like, I like to be focused, stay calm. I like to be silent. I'm a very calm person, so they're gonna be longer. That's for sure. It was easy, so I know I can do it. That was a good set. Just kind of hurt my shoulders on the first one. I went too low again. So that first rep was slow because of that. But it was an easy slow rep because I know what I did wrong. I haven't looked at the footage, but that was the cleanest 220 has ever felt in my life. Like, ever. I have such a good feeling about meet day now. I'm not gonna say what I think I'm gonna hit, but I have a good feeling. That's it. I'm really dialing down on my scapulas. That's way too important. And that was the cleanest 220 has ever felt. Like, I could have done 232 for that pause, and it was easy. My excuses were that my form was perfect on that one. I really used my scapula. Really, I felt nothing in my arms. Felt like I didn't have arms. Felt it all on my back, but it didn't burn. The other sets, I told you it was burning like I was doing a row, but no, it felt like real smooth. The pauses were really long, and I know that. I haven't even seen it yet, but I know they were long. So my excuses are that it was just my form was perfect. I don't even know if I was using leg drive. That's how good my scapular retraction was. It was good. The retraction and protraction, the bounce, the pauses, I know were good. Leg drive, it was probably there, but I didn't even focus on that at all. Because I think my leg drive is pretty good in general. Let me just see that playback, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, I saw the playback, and what I said before I saw it was right on the dot. Like, those reps look easy from me watching it and from me doing it, and I'm sure someone else who saw it, who's watching it, or whoever sees it will say the same. That was literally an RPE 6. Damn, I'm shocked how easy that was. I need to add more. I mean, I was huge on eccentrics, like taking the weight off, like how I did 270 with the board press, but I was big on I used to do 275, and I was way weaker before. Like 245 was my max. And what I'm saying is, I would do 275 and do eccentric bench press. So it's not even a bench press. You just get it. No, I mean, you can probably get a lift off. You get a lift off, and you bring it down as slowly as humanly possible. And you don't bring it up. You have the pin set up to your chest, and I love those. And some people do static holds. They just carry it until the triceps give out, and then someone puts it back for them. I like the eccentrics better. I haven't done those since 2019. Last one I did was probably August 2019, and I really love those. And I think I would go heavier than Now I look back at it, I went too crazy. Now I look back at it, I would do 276. I would do I forgot how I did it, but it was 100% of your max. So at the time 245, then 105% of your max. So whatever that is, then 110, and then 115% of your max. But you're just bringing it down. You're really using your back. It's actually not heavy. So I was huge on those. I may bring those in 2 weeks out. I may. So I love those. That's all I gotta say. I love those. I don't know if that's ideal to do before a top single. I used to do that after I would bench. So when you're already tired. It's kind of like what I did today. I went really heavy. I can't even do 270, I think. Did those for 4x4, the 4x4 wood, and did a 3x2 with them, and then the 220 was really easy. I was really able to use my back, and you're really able to retract and protract your back with the board because you're not that low, obviously. So this is the best bench session of my life because I paused it and it was real easy, and the last set was even easier than the other sets. I have accessories to do. I'm gonna head out. I'll probably just throw them in the video. Maybe I won't. I think I will. I just don't want this video to be too long. So it's been a long rest since I've benched. I'm going to go to FU right now. I've decided to not include the accessories because the video is very long already. But with that being said, I feel real good about me day. I'm getting super close. I'm a month out. I consider it 3 weeks out, but 3 weeks out, 3 weeks of heavy lifting out. I feel pretty damn... This is the best I've ever felt about my bench. Deadlift and squat, not sure. But with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.